Julius Caesar, you ever heard of the term the Ides of March? Beware the Ides of March. And they even have sales, the Ides of March. Ides means the middle of March. He was killed by folks. There was a mutiny of people that were, they thought that maybe he wasn't such a good ruler or a good person, and even his friends, because the famous thing, et tu, Brute, his friend was Brutus, and Brutus, they knifed him down in the center of the square and killed him, and he died.
Are you wanting to book them?
Well, yeah, you go into it knowing he's going to die.
Right.
And they say that he was born not like a regular person. He sprang from like he was a god's son and things like that, the Roman and Greek gods and everything. It's a real interesting story. You need to read that. And it's something that you need to just know, again, because it's a classic in literature about Julius Caesar. Centi, cent, anything cent, century, cent means what? 100 cents. That's why they call a penny a cent, because it is 100th of a dollar. It's one of the things that it takes 100 of. Cent is 100th. 100th, or as a decimal. Okay? So if it's a centigram, it takes 100 of them to make 1 gram. A centiliter, it would take 100 of them to make a liter. You see, it's so much easier. Centimeter, it takes 100 of them to make 1 meter. Okay? Milli, you would think is million. And what I had to understand is that what a million is 1,000 thousands. That's what a million is. A million is 1,000 thousands. Mill means thousandth. When they talk about voting a mill into it, you're paying 1,000th of a penny in taxes for a mill. A mill is 1,000th. So, you've all heard of a milligram. Just knowing what it means now, it means it takes 1,000 of them to make 1 gram. A milliliter. They used to, when long cigarettes came out, they'd say Benson and Hedges was a millimeter longer. It would take 1,000 of them to make a meter. 1,000, if it's a milliliter, 1,000 of them to make a liter. Because that's what milli means, 1,000th. Now kilo is the big one. It's 1,000 of them. 1,000 whole things, like having $1,000. These are all change. These are dimes, pennies, the things that aren't even pennies yet. And then these are 1,000 whole dollars. So a kilogram is 1,000 grams. A kiloliter is 1,000 liters. And a kilometer is 1,000 meters. On your speedometer, it'll have mph and kmph. That means kilometers per hour. How many kilometers are you going? Because a kilometer is 1,000 meters, or 1,000 yards. Remember we said a meter is almost like a yard? And remember there's 1,700 yards in a mile. See, so this is 1,000 meters in a kilometer. So if you're in a European country or other countries that use metric, they'll tell you how many kilometers it is between one place and another, not how many miles it is between one place and another. Okay? So you need to memorize these prefixes and memorize those units. If it's talking about weight, you're going to talk about grams. Talking about liquid, we talk about liters, and we have started doing liters of pop now. We're getting a little metric. And then meters. You need to know those units and these prefixes.